understand it's all a planning. As a man, I can't give in. Nevertheless, I'm going on and on. I've been thinking, yes, I understand it's all a planning. As a man, I can't give in. Nevertheless, I'm going on and on. I've been thinking maybe I deserve it. Maybe I do. I deserve it. Maybe I do. Maybe I've been feeling like the motherfucking man. I deserve it. Maybe I do. Maybe I do. I deserve it. Maybe I've been feeling like the motherfucking man. Alright, you know what it is. Yo, what's up, world? Thanks again for tuning in to the Off Top Pod, where we discuss black thought off the top, no hezzy, no remorse. I am your man's 100 miles young. This is your boy Tyler Tesla in the building. How you feeling today, bro?
What's good, man? I'm feeling all right, man.
Yeah, we had a little bit of technical difficulties this morning, but we gonna make sure we get this thing right, man. We want to make sure we gave y'all a little something still to be able to nibble on in your mind for a little bit. But,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I told bro that I want him to kind of quarterback this episode a little bit. I'm here for sure, but I want to kind of make sure we got a broad variety on different directions that we going into. So how you feeling today, man?
Man, today is Sunday.
Sunday as hell.
Today is a Sunday. So Sundays be feeling, for me right now, feeling relaxed.
Word.
You know what I'm saying? And it's just naturally that day to relax, So yeah. I'm in a nice mellow mood. The week was cool. You know what I mean? I feel like it could have been better in some ways, but overall I give the week a 7 out of 10. You know?
That the week for me, like I'm in school, man, full time too as well. So like the week was kind of hectic. I had a stats midterm. I had multiple assignments due all throughout that thing and into this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I wrote an English essay paper that was like I thought was due on Thursday, so I did it on Wednesday, and just to find out it was due on Friday. So I was mad at myself, but then when I see how it opened me up, I was like, "Hey,
so this is what it feels like to be studious."
Right.
All right. You know,
to be a good student.
No, for sure. I'm like, niggas be really doing this shit this early. Like that's why they be out. I can do everything, and I got my homework done. I'm like, nigga, the night before, you already.
Right. You was stress free on accident,
man.
like.
Oh my gosh, man. No, for real, man. But I got ahead a little bit, so it feels good. You know what I'm saying? So right now I'm feeling good. My mental is a lot better. It's no secret that man, my mind be up and down. The last few months been the craziest of my life so far. So it feels good to be on the up and up, with everything, finances, life, mental health, all of that. So I'm just feeling thankful and feeling blessed today, bro.
Man. Happy for you.
Yes, sir.
Starting to smooth on out here. You know what I mean?
Seasons.
And then a little bit of patience, too.
No doubt.
A little bit of patience. Sometimes you kind of got to wait for things to, kind of even out a little bit. Kind of got to wait to catch your rhythm again. But once you catch it, you're good to go,
Yeah, sometimes you notice that when your rhythm is out of whack, you find out like, maybe I need more discipline.
Mm-hmm.
So that it doesn't even like wobble. You know what I mean? And that's one thing that I lack a lot is a level of discipline that I want. It's not like I have zero, but my desired level of discipline is still up there.
Yeah.
And I'm still trying to get it. You know what I'm saying? But that's the key to me. You know what I'm saying?
And I'm realizing like I have a harder time being disciplined on my off days. Like when I'm working and I got stuff to do, I can be disciplined like it's nobody's business. But when it's like a day off and I can do whatever, my discipline be something different. Like,
well, I'm just country boy, man. And as I get older, I'm noticing that my natural state tries to take over, which is my natural state is enjoying. I literally enjoy nothing
Mm-hmm.
more than productive people, because productive people, nothing is like the evil rival. It's like the number one evil doer in a productive person's life.
Right.
And for me, nothing is a regenerative state
Mm-hmm.
for me, because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes simple things that I gotta do or tasks that I gotta complete, I got anxiety, and sometimes it seems like a mountain. But at the same time, anytime I get some freed up space to do absolutely nothing,
Mm-hmm.
I be trying to do that.
Yeah.
And I try to do it in the most comfortable ways. I can wrap up in a blanket or a cover at the crib and go into a whole different zone of movies but you got to get shit done. So do that shit after you've handled your business. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's kind of where I'm at with everything.
And that's the hard part, because it's like, man, you go from doing everything to just doing absolutely nothing. Nah, I've always tried to like balance it from the standpoint of like, if it's a work day, it's a work day. If it's an off day, it's an off day,
Yep.
and not mixing the two. But I still end up mixing the two.
Well,
And on my days off, like I still mix it in, and I kind of be feeling some type of way about like not really doing nothing. I have to like
Yeah.
convince myself, like, bro, it's okay
you're okay.
to not do nothing.
Yeah, my wife is like that. Danny is a type A personality, and God bless her soul, because her drive is amazing. It's one that most people can't tap into, and she's in the water of it. But at the same time, it's like pulling teeth to get her to calm down, because I calm down so much and I chill so much. She's
Mhm.
like, that's why your productivity is the way it is, and that's why mine's is the way it is because of that. But at the same time, we're only human and we have a cap level.
Right.
And when I identify that she needs to slow down, she kind of get defensive first,
Mhm.
because she like the audacity. But at the
Yeah.
same time, I also know her in a different depth. So I'm like, no. You really need to stop it now for a
Mhm.
minute, just for a little bit. So when she does it, she always be like, "You's right," you know what I mean? But other times she be like, "Nah." When I overrode that, and you see how it came out,
Yeah.
that's why I be doing it. I'm like, yeah, because it wouldn't have happened like that for me. But it's true, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just trying to find that balance, bro. But what you got on the agenda, man? What you thinking, man? What kind of direction you want to go into first? I see we had a couple notes in here that that was dope. You know what I'm saying? A couple little things that you want to touch points on. What you thinking first, man?
Well, I mean, we kind of already touched on it a little bit. Maybe that was by accident. Maybe it was intentional.
What?
Patience
Oh,
and
Oh.
and having to wait. And let's just get on into it, man. Right
sure.
off the top,
For sure.
there's a man named Damian Lillard who's had to be
patience.
patient.
ultimate level of patience.
There's a man named Damian Lillard who's had to wait for his true opportunity, one of a kind opportunity, once in a lifetime opportunity. Let's just not gas it up, you know what I'm saying? But just the opportunity to really accomplish what he has set out to accomplish since day one.
Yeah, no, for sure. Nigga, I think he waited too damn long.
Ooh,
That's just
I'm
me.
glad you said that.
I'm a super.
Speak on
I'm
it.
a
I'm glad you
super
said it.
hoop fan, and I think he waited too long. We have seen, what happens when somebody who's an amazing player stays on a losing team too long.
Too long.
The scope of you getting a championship just narrows and narrows. I mean, KG is the number one kind of like example. He luckily ended up getting the championship. What did they get? One or two?
I think they only got one. They
Yeah.
talk like they got like 8 of them, but
They
only got
do. They
one.
kind of. That's why I had to ask. Like, even though I love basketball, I was like, did they get one?
Bro, they really be talking like they got 8, but they only got one.
But like
It
real
was
talk,
one championship.
had KG left before that,
It would.
yo, KG
Yeah.
would have had like 3 or 4, like,
Facts.
because he was that guy. But at the same time, age and luckily Dame is still playing at a high level. He's in his prime, I believe, right now.
Yeah.
And so I think he has about 2-3 year window to where he could really tear some shit up if he wants to. But I do believe, like Dame is such a poised, calm. He's kind of like you and shit, bro. Like y'all got that like the world can do that, but I'm gonna do this. And really be doing that shit. Most people can talk that shit, but they don't really. But Dame really lives that shit.
He really liked that, bro.
He's solid, and I love him as a person. But at the same time, I'm like, bro, you've already made it to the league. You making a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Like, when?
Yeah.
like fucking win. Like fuck sitting in one spot with the same jersey on for 20 years. Like win, bro. Like KD, even though I don't like the way he did it,
He did it.
by the time other people win multiple championships and blah blah blah, it'll come down and then he'll be able to just be like, yeah, I'm a champion too, and that's everybody know it, and that's just kind of what it is, you know. So like when the conversations die down, you know, it'll be about the end result. So like, I think Dame is in a great place. I did want to see him in Miami, but now when they say the Bucks, I'm like, ooh, that's even better because you know Giannis is like him. He's not like he's a real humble dude, and he got it out the fucking mud.
Yeah,
and that's how Dame got out the mud too.
That's true.
So I'm really excited to see. Shout out to Drew though. Shout out to Drew Holiday because
big time.
they missing a lot of defense, but not a lot, but a strong key point. You know what I'm saying? So I'm interested to see how it's going to work. So hopefully by the time this drops, we'll have seen them kind of in the flow of things. You know what I mean? And so we gonna go back to this clip.
We gonna
if
run it
they
back.
trash, man. We gonna pull it out like we was rooting on y'all.
We gonna stand on it too.
Yeah, so.
We gonna stand on everything we said.
Man, but shout out to Dame though.
But to that conversation of him waiting too long, like I think that's kind of why I wanted to talk about it, because sometimes like you feel like you're waiting in vain for something that's not actually going to happen.
Right.
And sometimes it's due to expectations that you had no business having.
Man.
Sometimes that's due to expectations that other people created that you counted on. Right. You know what I'm saying? And they didn't quite live up to the expectations they created. However you choose to, you know, put it. Sometimes when it comes down to being patient, when it comes down to waiting for the opportunity, let's just say of a lifetime, or the opportunity to really get to be where you want to be, you feel like you're never going to get there. Like season after season, and you still not there yet. And it's like, when is this going to happen for me when you keep saying it happen for everybody else? Right.
No, I agree wholeheartedly, because music for myself, like
man,
like I can do a lot of different kind of music. I can do a lot of things other people can't do, but I thought that it was just a matter of time before the opportunity presented itself. And, you know, to be accountable, I didn't create though the amount of opportunities I needed, you know, but at the same time, I thought that talent would just always persevere, and it don't. It's hard work. You know, hard work chips away at the patience that you're needed to get your end result. Like, hard work will chip away at that rock faster than rain will erode it. Like a natural rain. Like, you need the naturalness of rain and also an active action towards that, you know, narrowing of the rock, basically, which is the goal, the ultimate goal, however you want to sculpt your world into. And I've learned through music, you know, it just won't come unless you're literally everywhere all the time. And I couldn't be. So like, I don't feel bad about it, you know, but I do. In retrospect, look back, like I definitely could have done more, but I'm coming into a space where I don't even know if that was the patience I was having for it. I don't think it was for me. I like to do music as therapy. I like to do music freely, and I'm going to do it regardless of if anybody hearing it or not.
Right.
Just like having these kind of conversations. These are the things that kind of like fuel me. So, just not by being patient and not getting what I thought I desired actually showed me other things that I desire more. So on the back end of that, you know, sometimes that patience can teach you, you know, a very valuable lesson about what you're not supposed to have and then where you're supposed to pivot.
And I think that's one of the hardest things that I've been dealing with, just in regards to patience and waiting, is the learning process of it. And some of the lessons you have to learn the hard way, like while you're waiting, while you being patient. You know what I'm saying?
The live action lesson is something you gotta adjust to. It's definitely one of those things, man. So,
and then I guess like with Dame's situation, is like it can be difficult to actually determine like, when should I keep on waiting, when should I stop, because that's something that kind of happened to me this year. I was waiting for something to come to pass, and then it didn't. And it just didn't.
Right.
And it's like all my patience, and I like to say, I always like to combine patience and understanding. You know what I'm saying? Because to me, that equals grace. You know what I mean? And just giving people grace, giving a situation grace. You know what I'm saying? Life be life and for everybody, not just you as a person.
That's a big word.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a big word. I talk to my wife about grace all the time.
Grace,
Like,
you know.
grace is, you know, the way your grandmother could alter your behavior outside of the way your parents would. Your parents would yell, but your grandma could just look at you like, "No,
Without having to do that much.
nah, baby."
Mm-hmm.
Like that grace means the same as "get your ass."
Yeah.
But you know, when grandma gave me her direct attention and she's beaming words at me in a smoother tone, you know it equals, you know. So that grace is a huge thing. Are we recording?
Yeah,
Is
it
everything
just
recording?
went.
I just want to make sure.
Yeah, because I'm recording like 2 different ways.
Oh, for
So,
sure.
yeah,
Hey,
yeah.
we gonna do that. Hey, so
Yeah.
don't cut that out either. Like we
Yep.
still learning. We gonna make sure that this shit is right. You know what I'm saying? But
And I got like 2 backups, so we getting the audio.
yo, this man is amazing on
Like-
this shit, bro. 'Cause, like, if you ask me, we be asked out. I already
Right.
done had the cameras up here one time, and the cameras didn't even record the whole thing. I'm like, damn, we just had some gems. We had a, you know what I'm saying? But luckily, bro's on deck, so I'm glad you are on point with that. But
Yeah,
I had to
man.
make sure, but because we're gonna have to be patient if that don't work.
Patience and understanding and being grace.
So you said you was waiting on something to happen and it didn't happen.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And it was something.
were you waiting individually or were you waiting within a group of was it like a group of you guys waiting on something to happen, or was it just something
was-
you wanted?
Just me specifically.
Okay.
It was an opportunity.
Okay.
It was an opportunity, and the way things looked, it looked like it was a given, like it was guaranteed.
Yeah.
And then it didn't happen, and that did something to me that hasn't happened to me in a long time. Like I immediately went to the other side
Mm-hmm.
of I ain't got no patience.
Mm.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I realized like I choose to be patient and understanding, and I like to, you know, try to be balanced, but my discernment isn't always what it should be.
Right.
And I messed around and got out of balance with myself, going from being really patient and understanding to having no patience and understanding.
Mm.
Because I'm like, okay, you can actually wait for something and it be in vain. You can actually be patient and understanding, and it can amount to absolutely nothing.
Do you think it truly amounts to nothing, or is it because it wasn't the desired result that you equated to nothing?
I'll say that it doesn't amount to anything. I won't say that, but I say because what you learn from it,
Yeah.
it does amount to something.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
that's where I'm tapping into, like, because
Yeah.
you know, when you shoot the ball and then you brick,
But
and
it's
then
like-
keep going to the left. If you don't tap it, don't go more to the right.
But
You
it's
know
like,
what I mean?
I didn't want to have to learn it the hard way.
For
Like,
sure,
you know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. you don't want, yeah.
I could have just read it in a book, bro.
Yeah.
I could have just seen it on a podcast. But we got technology. I ain't need to learn. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and we got the space to be disappointed. We
You
do,
know what I
we
mean?
do, yeah.
and it hit me a little bit. I'm like, okay, like you can actually like wait in vain. It's been a long time because I'm like,
dirty mother.
you know what I'm saying? Like that kind of caught me something vicious, man. I'm like, okay, and I immediately found myself on the other end of the spectrum. Like,
Yeah.
I ain't got no patience and understanding
Right.
because it's like people, circumstances, situations can exploit that, can manipulate that, can take advantage of that, and
They
so
sure
now I'm
can.
like, now I'm on defensive mode. I'm on protective mode.
Right.
Like I'm giving my patience and understanding with better discernment.
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? It's like you really gotta be talking about what you talking about if you're gonna get my grace.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, that makes sense.
So that's why I kind of want to talk about the Damian Lillard situation, just because, you know, he's had to be patient, and it's, I don't know, it kind of blessed me to see it actually pay off.
Especially for a person like such.
For
know what
that
I mean?
type of
So
individual.
yeah, that is a food
You know what I
for
mean?
the soul to see somebody with that kind of attitude, finally getting an opportunity by actually performing such patience and such strong level of loyalty and patience to his desired goal, even with it not succeeding and being successful, and still being into it. So he finally gets to a position because they just won recently a few years ago. So like,
And I think that's why it's special. And it's not to cut you off. Like everybody talks about Miami, and Miami's Miami. You know what I'm
I
saying?
just want to see Dame turn up with niggas because you know he's so cool. But I mean,
Boys.
but this is a better spot though when you think about it though.
And it's because like and you know this as a basketball player. Like I don't hoop like that. I ain't gonna sit up here and put on the front. I like the game.
Word.
I love watching it, but I'm not no hooper. You know what I'm
Word.
saying? I get out there and talk trash like I am,
Word.
but I ain't. I ain't.
I mean, it's levels to this game too. I'm good at basketball, but I also seen the levels above where niggas is in the gym every day compared to myself. And you be like, I gotta get the rust off me, and some niggas come in
just
fluent,
buckets,
oiled up.
Right.
like yeah, I gotta miss like 5 or 6 before I'm like, all right, nigga.
Right.
Then I can get on my, but then the sustainability is different because the endurance is different. So there's levels to this game. I enjoy it the same way though. I honestly think I just enjoy about basketball. It's kind of weird, but I always love body language. Just the way it makes my body feel to do certain stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When somebody's reaching and you anticipate it and you spin perfectly, so it looks like a carousel.
Mm-hmm.
Like just I don't know. I always love that part of the game. You know what I mean? So for me, it's just a flow. Basketball is a metaphor for life. Y'all gonna peep out how we use a lot of metaphors through basketball, just like how he was talking about patience with Damian Lillard. That's what we love to do here. So hoop will always be in the conversation.
Always be.
Just know that, but it won't be just basketball. It'll be life connected. So synonymous with things that we got going on.
They're going to catch on.
Yeah.
And then we kind of be talking about in the first and second episode.
Well,
go back and watch the first and second.
You're going to see them in all of them. There's going to be a basketball reference. And low key, at the end of this whole thing, man, I hope we can really go back and go look for basketball references and metaphors throughout the whole thing and create a compilation of just that.
Yeah.
Basketball equals life, you know what I mean?
We going to have that.
So, like, we ain't debating about who's, the illest ever all time, blase splee, but we definitely going to have them analogies. But, y'all just got to be patient for that. You know what I'm saying?
And to that point, I think that's what's kind of unique about it. Because, I mean, you would kind of know more, as a basketball player that's been on a team, that's dealt with a coach, assistant coaches, trainers, all that.
Mm-hmm.
It's one thing to, have a coach that's won the NBA Finals or a general manager that's, won the NBA Finals.
Instructed a team to do so, yeah.
But it's another thing when you actually on the court with someone that's won the NBA Finals.
And led it. And
I think that's why Milwaukee is a different situation entirely, because Giannis has won it and was getting ready to leave this team if they didn't put him in the position.
I want to win.
To win it again.
As long as the Bucks win, I don't be a Buck.
Right. Like
that nigga is funny though.
Bro, it says a lot, bro. And I forgot he's been in the league for like 10 years.
Yeah, he came up.
Like
he wasn't sweet. He wasn't sweet for a while.
I remember.
And then I remember that one season, he came in jacked, though. We was like, God damn, after the offseason, he kind of did his thing. So I respect that kind of grind. It's so hard to tap into a focus that can completely change your anatomy and your mental.
Mm-hmm.
Like, your physical can change with you working out and doing regimens, but if your mind is the same, you'll just be a clunky kind of dude doing different stuff. But if you can change your mind into a stronger kind of mental space, as well as strengthen your physical, you become a Giannis. Like he literally was a skinny dude in the league. There's a lot of skinny dudes in the league.
Super tall. Could dunk.
We'll get a nice breakaway dunk, but you can tell he wasn't like James Harden was talking about. He wasn't really skilled. He was just athletic. But now, I was watching some highlights the other day, and he got a little bag on him too. A little.
He didn't add some stuff, man.
A little, especially the Euro step is like embedded in his league, but his game. But I don't want to go too far.
Yeah. Just wanted to throw that out there.
Man. Shout out to Giannis, man.
Yeah.
You are great. You are a great basketball player. And you eat cheesesteaks. That nigga is crazy, bro. That nigga Giannis, man. But nah, man, what you thinking about? You want to go further with patience, or what you want to do, man?
No, I think that's pretty much it, man.
So like, I mean, at the end of the day, the ability to identify when you need to be patient and when you need to cut the cord on patience is the synopsis, really.
Good discernment.
Yeah, and I think his timing was perfect for when he cut it off. Like, okay, no need to be patient. Let's do now. Let's do something different because the league is changing. He gonna need that, and for Dame to be a champion, if he becomes a champion, that will be the ultimate display of patience.
Man,
that'll be the ultimate display.
It's the perfect story too. You know what I mean? Like that's the perfect story, perfect story ending. Like if he wants to end it afterwards, it's like
Legacy. Now you tapping into legacy.
you know what I'm saying. Like you be like respect, bro.
Yeah.
You know.
Now you definitely tapping into legacy. Let's see. Looking on the board, we got challenges of balancing ambition with that patience. So like when we wrote that down, like balancing ambition, is that you just speaking of how bad you want something opposed to the duration of time it takes to get or achieve, or
What was I thinking when I wrote that down?
so like
I feel like that's a little outdated too.
it might be.
I mean, just the thought that I had about it. Kind of had that thought a long time ago.
It's all good. We can skip past that.
Yeah, let's skip to the thing you put, because everything else I put, I think we kind of
Well, like we gonna jump around on here, but it's all gonna be things that we can use. Like I said, this is. I like the fact that it's clip oriented
true.
because as things happen, it doesn't have to be a whole that they have to consume. It can be the parts that we can apply to daily life on a regular basis. Which that's why I love the format in which we're doing it. You know what I mean? It ain't an everyday thing. It's like packs, and then we decipher the packs. You know what I'm saying? So like I put down
I be trying not to like think like an editor when I do this too.
word.
Like
I mean,
intentionally, like
yeah, it'll be too linear. It needs to be content.
Yeah,
The content
like-
is king. You know what I'm saying? So when we talk about one of the subjects I put down is the black experience in America and what it feels like to go through daily life. And patience being one thing, and how to balance that with your ambition is another thing. But I wanted to talk about. I did want to dive in on the levels of love and what it feels like to experience it. So I put a question down that says, have you ever experienced true unconditional love? But before we answer that, we need to define it. Like in your mind, what's unconditional love? And we're not talking about a romantic love. It don't have to be a romantic love, but it's definitely unconditional love within romanticism. But like, what's your definition of unconditional love? Yeah, I went there.
yeah, and it's like I had an answer, but I didn't really like it that much, just because I felt like there was a better one out there.
Well, it might be, but at the same
But-
time, yours is yours. Like, you want me to tell you mine?
Yeah,
Because we are, our wheels get to spinning like that. Like, and I'm very fucking talkative, so I can do that a million ways. But
nah,
like,
you good.
the phrase unconditional love is very important to me. Hence the reason why it landed into our list, because I noticed I come from it. So for me to define unconditional love is an action. It is not a phrase. It's an action that you can't define unless you've experienced it. So by that I mean truly being able to accept someone, value someone, and want someone despite X variables. Some of the variables could be terrible. Some of them could be a nuisance. Some of them can be annoying. Some of them can be challenging. But I came up, like I said, in very humble beginnings. I wasn't born in the city. Like I was born in like a country area where it was just family, and the unconditional love that I was taught it from my grandmother. And it's no matter what I'm doing, she remembers and knows who I am. So even if I'm getting caught up in something bad or wrong, she still speaks to me as if I'm that person, not like something doing some bullshit. Like she still, and I'm learning that since I came up in that kind of environment where I was accepted all the time. Doesn't matter what mistake I just made, I can still get a warm bed. I can still get talked to with love. I can still not get like just completely castrated because I did something. Man, it's always room for improvement and room for growth. And because I feel like I came from that, bro, I just can't help but to notice when other people haven't experienced it or aren't experiencing it. Unconditional love is, like I said, don't got to be from your romantic partner. It could be from your friends. Do your friends fuck with you completely, or do they only fuck with you when you're vibrating high? Like I said, the last 5-6 months been completely out of the scope of what I'm used to. And what I've noticed is, and this is no shade either, for anybody who may feel away, but what I've noticed is when my mental kind of dipped like this, people kind of get up off you. And in my mind, I'm a giver. You know, I've always been a space where people, especially my dogs, when they got something going on, they're like, I'm gonna holler at Pat.
Right.
Because he's gonna take something that's unbiased. He's gonna give me some real life. And it's like I truly love to lift people. I love to know that you came in here on 4, and because I exchange information with you or perspectives that you leave on at least a 6 or 7 or 8.
Mm-hmm.
That to me, that's a power. It's not like an ego-driven power. We're like, yeah, I'm the smart one. I know. Like, no. It's none of that shit. Because during the process of me building with people, if they tell me, man, I got shit, and they put all their shit on the table, their messy shit on the table, I like to be like this, and go grab my shit and put it on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I like to do that. That's how I know my ego isn't attached to it, because typically if your ego is attached to it, you'll see them put their dirty shit on the table, and you'll kind of like tuck yours away and like, I ain't got that much, but this is what you should do. And it's not from that angle. It really in my heart feels good to know I'm not the only one with shit, and I'm not the only one that get frazzled with shit. And I just noticed that during the times that I had a lot of shit, man, I've noticed that people will kind of take their hands off you a little bit. They'll back up. Some people will start making comments that just because they might be in a better space at the moment. Like I finally get to tell him,
yeah,
you know, you just gotta. I hate the word just when you're explaining something wrong to somebody and they be like, man, you just gotta, like, I hate the just is a minimization of
what they dealing with,
of what you're feeling.
Yeah.
To say just minimizes, especially if you clearly are going through a lot of shit. Of course, if I'm going through shit, I should get the fuck out of it. But if I'm not out of it, then nigga, that's the shit that I'm talking about.
Right. If it was just that easy, I would have been done it already.
Yeah. I mean, just get your ass off the floor. My legs broke. I mean, just stand up. My legs broke. Like, like that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it's a level of unconditional love that sometimes is needed. Your legs broke. Okay. How'd you break it? You know, just explaining how you got there to somebody can give them more context on how to be like, okay, what should we do next?
Right.
And sometimes people don't give a fuck about that. And I'm learning, like I said, through these trying times. Thank God that I'm on the up and up. But I've encountered people who just kind of, you know, put their bullshit aside and just spew shit at me. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, you should just blah, 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 blah. And it just kind of made me feel away, and it just made me think like I would never come to them that way. Mm-hmm. And I got people around me that I've seen them in their terrible states that I didn't do them like that. You know what I'm saying? But the unconditional aspect of it is being accepted and allowing me the space to feel what I feel and then going higher. You know what I mean? So like that's what I mean when I'm talking about have you experienced unconditional love, and what is that definition? You know what I'm saying to you? Like what situations have you felt it? If I say unconditional love, who is a person you think of?
I mean, obviously my parents, you know, mom and dad, friends that have been like family. Mm-hmm.
When have you felt like, damn, I exposed this and you have the right to go the opposite direction, but you didn't? You know, like has that ever happened to you where you were like in a situation and you finally exposed somebody expecting them to repel or to be upset, and they gave you that grace that we were speaking of, that grace, they gave you that grace. I mean, just that feeling when that happens is unique. And shout out to my boy Shell Dot, because he's been a major component in that in my world right now.
Yes, sir.
It's an unconditional form of love and companionship that I've been experiencing through. And like I said, he's not necessarily a day one, but we find out sometimes your day twos, sometimes your day threes are the ones, though. You know what I mean? That perform like day one, just like in basketball.
True.
Sometimes my man's off the bench saves you.
Yeah,
saves you. And collectively as a team, y'all win. Mm-hmm. And now you know in your confidence level for when things are happening, it's like I don't want to even look down the bench because no. You don't know what people got inside of them. You know what I mean? And that unconditional kind of like approach towards your situation or my situation, it just only causes wins. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I've had friends that are like family that have accepted me at my worst.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Um, just with different life situations and me not always making the best choices sometimes, type of choices which could definitely be judged for and say, yeah, you were definitely
criticized and
you know what I mean? You were definitely the lesser version of yourself.
Fuck.
You know,
basically wrong as fuck.
You know what I'm saying? Just was wrong choice. You know what I mean?
No.
And being given the grace to allow me to grow through that. I think I get that also kind of gets included in unconditional love. It's also about the growth of an individual, not just I like this individual, but it's like this individual isn't going to be who they are now 2-3 years from now.
Right.
Like that's a realistic possibility. You know what I'm saying? Like
especially romantically.
Yeah. But also just in life in general. Like everybody's chasing better opportunities, whether it be career wise or financially or people going to therapy now. You know what I mean?
It's a regular thing, man.
People are changing. People are trying to better themselves. People are writing in journals. People are becoming different. People are having different life experience. People have been traveling a lot. You know what I mean?
And that helps for sure. Definitely seeing different spaces.
And people have also been dealing with life. Like inflation is hitting everybody. The cost of living is hitting everybody. And some people are handling it well. Some people are not handling it well.
I think we need to have an unconditional love towards our society in totality, but those kind of dreams are just too big to achieve in a realm full of so many distractions. You know what I mean? Like we're in America, it's so easy to become distracted and veer away from what you really need, or what your body really needs, or what your heart really needs, or what your mind really needs. Then we kind of going on a tangent, but like, fam, it's the internet. The internet is making us less empathetic to one another's experience because it's so individualized, and I can paint everything I see. I can create it on my own down my timeline from who I follow to the shit I'm interested in, and I think it's negatively affecting our ability to connect with one another and to provide that kind of unconditional love when needed because of something we comparing that we've seen this situation on the internet and they did this, so let's try this. Like you plugging in different shit that you're not even naturally supposed to do.
True. But I also was kind of wondering at the same time, just when I saw the question, like, do you feel like everybody is actually capable of giving unconditional love?
Hell no. But I think that's a good point.
No. Because I kind of feel that way sometimes. Like I don't think it's something that everybody can give.
It's through experience.
I think you have to be a certain type of individual that's obviously experienced some type of unconditional love, but also the type of individual that's kind of done the inner work. You know what I mean? Like you kind of have to have a certain level of self-love or even self-awareness,
intuitiveness.
You know what I mean? To really be able to give that to somebody else like that.
Because you got to
mean?
be able to imagine how it would feel, so that you can generate that action to project that for the person. No, you're right. I definitely believe that. That's why originally speaking on that would be easier for myself because I truly in my heart feel like that's how I was taught. I was taught that first, and I had to also. It is a gift and a curse though, because you find out that unconditional love, typically coming from close sources as you grow, ain't out here in the world all rampant like that. So another reason, possibility why I had to go through my adjustment phase was during the times that I was going down and through these valleys and stuff like that, is because I expected what I would do, how I would be. I expected all of that for me, and then when you don't get it, that's when resentment can fester up. And if you're not, like you said, connected to yourself or kind of doing the work, then that's when your ego just takes autopilot and you can get defensive. All right, well, fuck y'all. All right then. All right, when I all right, as soon as I get on my feet, as soon as I blah 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 blah, I ain't fucking with blah blah blah, and then that could just close them doors. So
yeah,
like, you're definitely right. You do got to have the capacity, and I do firmly believe that unconditional love must be experienced before it's given.
And then I think everybody kind of has their own version of unconditional love. Like because everybody expresses love differently, even though we all kind of feel like it's the same. I think everybody has their own version of the type of love that they give,
Mm-hmm.
you know. And I think unconditional love factors into that too.
Yeah, me and my wife is a perfect example of that. Like her love language is like she likes to buy stuff,
Hmm.
and it's cool being on the side of that because I'm with somebody who likes to buy stuff to like perform or to display love. But since I don't come from that, I got a reminder all the time. I don't have to have that shit, and it's not from like me trying to play modest. It's like truly, I don't have to have that shit. I'm a time person.
Mm-hmm.
Sit here right with me and let's kick it like this. But her way of displaying is love is look. I remember you said you like that. Voila! You know what I mean? I'm like, damn, like that's what's up. But
Yep.
like we do have different levels because like for her, she don't necessarily she gets what the hell she wants. So like anytime I invade her world or make her world easier, that just kind of makes her super happy.
Hmm.
Like if I get ahead on something that she wants to finish or start, and then she comes home and it's already like laid out, or help her out with something of her work or her job. I do a step that she had to do early, and I tell her like, "You good, I already did it." She like in my mind that's just being a companion, but in her mind she's like, "Oh my god, you love me so much." And it's kind of simple. It's kind of simple for me, but when you find a person who you know their shits, then you can just meet them there. You know what I mean? Because I definitely wouldn't have had as much stuff though. And I'd be happy, but when I got the stuff, you'd be like, "Yo, having stuff is kind of cool. I got options of things now." You know what I mean? So like it kind of works on both sides, but the unconditional love aspect is definitely something that I want to bring here to this pod so we can kind of put out into the atmosphere so people can think about, are they being unconditionally loved and are they loving unconditionally? Because like we said, man, the word grace is the center of that. It's allowing you to be what you are, man. Be what you are and have those you can be fallible. Shout out to Miss Kendricks. You know what I'm saying? You can be fallible, which means able to make mistakes. You can have that kind of leniency, and yet also know that everything won't crumble because you weren't perfect.
Right.
And that's kind of where unconditional love serves its value for myself. So we want to encourage y'all out there to ask yourself, what is unconditional love to you, and see if it matches with what you give out. That's kind of like the test. Especially as black men, we don't really get it that often outside of our mamas,
Right.
our mamas or our grandmas or our sisters, typically somebody related is the ones who will go to bat for us no matter what. Unconditional love. My brother been locked up for blah blah blah. I'm the only one that blah blah blah. My son, he had a tough time, and I'm still, and when those black men get on their feet or they do what they're supposed to do, and then they can spread that unconditional love onto others. To me, that's the cycle. You know what I mean? So it definitely does come from like we spoke of, experiencing it. The higher quality of it comes from when one experiences it,
right,
and can dish it out. But it is levels, so it is levels. But what you thinking, man? What you thinking over there, bro?
Well, I mean, they always talk about nature versus nurture.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I think it's a little bit of both. Like some of it you learn, some of it you naturally kind of have.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And it's just you learn how to give it, in a way that people can actually receive it. Because I feel like sometimes people want to be that and intend to be that and think of themselves as being that. You know what I mean? And they kind of, want to be that, but just don't know how to deliver it. Don't really know how to actually give it out.
No, it's definitely a balance in that. you gotta this is about, like you said, identifying certain shit within yourself. And if you can't identify in yourself, you ain't gonna be able to get it, bro.
Yeah.
But let me see what we got on the line. Next we got stress. I just added this morning, probably. I don't know if you caught that or not.
I did not.
We be sharing notes, bro. But like I said,
that's a good one to talk about too.
Some of the recent times have been challenging.
Stressful.
Some people are high, some people are vibrating high, some people are right on that line, and some people are way below the line. And I just wanted to ask you, bro, like, how do you relieve like the stress of everyday life? Like, what has been your go-tos as of lately being a black man in this world, how do you relieve the stress that the world, gives you when you go out and participate inside of the uphill battle that we seem to all wake up to?
For me, it's not being too caught up in the future and not being too caught up in the past. Like that's something I really, really had to work on, is not being in the past and not being in the future. Like, because sometimes you end up being stressed out about a day that hasn't even happened yet. You stress out about what's going to happen 2-3 days from now, next weekend. I got an event coming up.
That's
2 weeks from
definitely
now.
me.
I got to do this. I got to do that. And then you mess around and be stressed out about the past because you make decisions and you're not sure if it was the right decision. Like, and the outcome just ain't turned out yet. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah,
so it's like, ugh.
No, for sure. I definitely go through that a lot.
So
I
for me,
definitely
it's
do.
it's staying in the present. And then I've been getting into working out, and that's a really, really good stress reliever. Journaling, just because I don't do it every single day, but when I feel like I'm,
you can put this down. No, for sure.
you know what I mean? When it's something like that, it's like, okay, this is life. You know,
I struggle.
like to
I
write that
struggle with
down.
choosing to journal. Like I said, I was talking to you about it, and you kind of the one who jolted that back into my world. And I've made a few journal entries since, which is dope.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm always thinking about when I can do another one. Now, but only thing that made me timid about that was if I'm gonna put down my real life into some shit. I don't know what. I was really timid about it being in a physical space because you can lose it, and then people weaponize shit if they want to. And I just didn't want people to stumble across my raw thoughts. That's why another reason why we're doing this, because you might as well put it out there so nobody can weaponize it against you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'll go into detail, maybe not as like 100% here, but I'm gonna give it to you full and sturdy. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only thing. But I have overcome that so far because it's like, shit, my truth is my truth, bro. So like,
And then you kind of helped me with that a long time ago. Well, actually, it was like last year.
When?
But it's like people potentially like weaponizing your thoughts against you or your experiences against you.
Vulnerability,
but it's like,
to make you
But at the same time, it's like you had mentioned it, like it's your intention behind it.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
man,
there's people that are gonna misconstrue what you talk about, what you say, what your experience is. But there's also plenty of people that are gonna understand your intentions behind it. And it's like, okay, nah, they was on something good, they was on something positive. Maybe it didn't come off the way it could have came off, but grace.
Man, we're going to keep coming back to that. That's a really big word. That's a really big word.
It's patience and understanding. We already talked about the audio issues. We already talked about the video issues.
This episode might have to be called Grace.
No, we're going to call this one audio issues.
For real. No, straight up, man. Because
I don't know how good this microphone is going to sound. It was made in China and everything.
Fuck around and find out. This is what's going to happen.
We're going to find out. But we're going to make it work. But,
when it comes to relieving stress for me right now, definitely working out has helped a lot. I seen a check this out on Netflix. It's a documentary / movie documentary or something like that with what's the white dude name with the curly hair that's funny and shit? Is it Jonah Hill?
Mm-hmm.
Jonah Hill. He was in the funny movies and shit. Well, I forgot which ones.
Superbad.
Yeah, my bad, man. Listen, when you black, we don't know all y'all names, and when y'all white, y'all don't know all our names. That's just how it be, obviously. But we fuck with you, Jonah. But no, he had an actual documentary detailing his therapy
weight loss
experience. No, his therapy experience with his actual therapist, and he's become so much opened up to the process and how it's helped him. How it's helped him. He wanted to do a documentary on his therapist by detailing his walk through it. So I'm saying that because the therapist had mapped out this triangle, and he said, when you're going through, if you absolutely don't know what to do in your life, and you're trying to like, I don't know, this shit is. When you don't know mentally what to do, the first step of the triangle, the bottom half, is physical. Work on your body, because once you do that, natural things occur within your body, that your body starts producing these chemicals that actually aid and abet whatever is keeping you low.
Right.
Certain anchors that get snipped because of the shit in your body is running.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, you focus on the people around you, and then the top of the triangle is basically you focusing on yourself. Finally getting to that flow. And I thought that was important, when it comes to relieving stress, because sometimes we just get to a point where we don't know what the fuck is going on, and we can stay there and it can paralyze you. And I'm saying that because I've been in that spot. And when I started working out more, I started noticing like, damn, yeah. But one thing I got to add in about working out: if you play basketball, working out ain't enough. You need to hoop too, or run, or do some shit, whatever you do. Because I told my wife, because she loves to work out, she loves to do that, but I told her, like, it don't be enough. It don't get all my chi out. You know what I mean? Because it's focused in a certain area. It's just too focused. When you play basketball and your body is doing all this at the same time,
doing
and
everything.
you running down, turnover, you run back, another turnover. You know what I mean? So it just kind of the sporadic nature of it exhausts your whole body regardless. So if we can incorporate that inside of the working out, you know what I mean, it does help you get to the next level. And I think that's been a key thing for me. But also outside of working out and moving my body, though, reading has lately been, and shout out to school for doing that for me. Some of the readings that we've been having to do with different books have been like truly pulling me in. And I learned that reading lowers your blood pressure. It helps you really focus. It helps you process things sharper throughout the week. Like, I know that shit sounds cliche, but fam, sitting down still.
Reading is one of the most underrated things that we have.
Yeah.
It's unbelievably underrated.
Especially if you're a ponderer like myself. Like, I'm the type, if I hear some information and it's like, and if it makes me be like, how the fuck? Really? If it makes me do that, I want to dwell deeper. You know what I mean? And if you're like that, you got a whole to go.
Saying, bro.
So that's been helping me a lot with the stress of daily life, man. And I just appreciate having that ability right now to pull myself up through things that are really healthy for me. I'm trying to get better at eating, learning how eating can dictate my mood.
Well, let's talk about it.
I like to eat what I like. Like, I'm a slender guy. I've always been slender, so I just don't think about getting fat. So that kind of fucks it up for me, because I'll just be like, man, the fuck? You know what I'm saying? Like,
hey, that's facts, though.
I eat what the fuck I want. You know what I'm
that's
saying? Like, until somebody be like, damn, Pat, kind of chubby, bro. I'm like, man, I'm gonna eat that shit. I just had like 5 slices of pizza yesterday, and I felt bad. Like, damn. But at the same time, I do notice that some people with very healthy eating habits be telling me, I feel so much better. I feel rejuvenated. I'm like, you feel rejuvenated from eating this shit? Like, you really do? Like, but I don't know. Have you been on that spectrum before with like healthier eating and felt the effects of it?
Absolutely.
I have not yet.
It matters, like, because food is one of those things that literally can make you feel better or make you feel worse.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And sometimes it's not just the food itself, but how much food you eat, the portion size. But it's like smoothies, bro. I ain't never drank a smoothie and been in a bad mood.
Now, I ain't gonna lie. Maybe I don't count that because it's a smoothie. I'm a smoothie head, and I be getting the Green Island Greens from Tropical Smoothie. You know what I'm saying? Yo, sponsors of y'all.
I'm saying, a smoothie will put me in a good mood every single time.
I put a little B12 in mine to give me some little pep and shit, or some whey protein in my shit. But no, you're right, though. It do. And you do feel better, like how you feel when you studied early.
Yeah.
You feel like that when you completed a smoothie and you worked out. You're like, I'm doing great things for my life. At least maybe that's just me. That's how I feel. I'm like, I am better than you fucking sloppy humans today because I drank a smoothie and it had vegetables and shit in it and a little shot of ginger and shit, all this other shit. So.
And then I think I just like, I appreciate the process of just cooking your own food, and because I like to make stir fry. Like, I'll make a sweet and spicy chicken stir fry, and it's like just chopping up all the vegetables, prepping all those, seasoning everything, and then just it's just I enjoy the process, and I just feel
I gotta get better.
You know what I mean? Just because you cooked something quality for yourself versus all the other options you got.
The attachment to it, yeah, from touching all the food and washing the vegetables and doing your thing. I can see how that could be therapeutic in a sense, you know what I mean? Especially when you giving yourself an opportunity to make your body more elite. But I got to get better at that myself. I don't really cook a lot. I love to cook breakfast. I'm a breakfast head. Just the way my days, my earlier days when life was better.
Yeah.
They always started off with my mom Dukes on a Saturday, like
good breakfast.
Waking
man.
up and you smell that breakfast popping. So that's it's attached to me differently.
Mm-hmm.
So my family in my house, they know mommy cooks dinner, but daddy gets us ready for real, for real. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
I never, when I was coming up, I never had hot. You know, like when you watch the movies back in the day. I'm dating myself a little bit, but you'll see the kids wake up to like hot food before school.
Not cereal.
And I always wonder, like, is it because I'm from Michigan? But like, it's sunny and shit. They eating real meats and foods, and it's hot, and they got orange juice. But like in reality, to do that, it would have to be dark as fuck outside. You know, that shit pissed me off because I'm like, yo, why do white families get to eat the real food and shit like that? But when I get up, it's fucking 6 o'clock or 5:30. And Mom Dukes is knocked the hell out. It's fucking dark. And she gonna tell me, boy, you making some damn cereal. Mm-hmm. Everybody getting up that early for your ass, and you better not be late to school either. You know what I'm saying? So like for me, I just think it's kind of dope to be able to make my kids something warm or something hot before they get to school. Because I just remember me hating school. I didn't really wake up till like third hour. I remember that though. Mm-hmm. I hated being up in the morning. I hated being at the bus stop. It was always uphill battle for me. But anytime I got older. Even though it's McDonald's, but to get a sandwich before you go to school and you got that in you, you be like, all right, let's go.
That nice breakfast sandwich, man.
That little pep. So that's definitely a good way to relieve the stress in your life through the diets. You know what I'm saying, like that. But
then
trying to get better.
We also got to talk about just for what we do, man. I should have mentioned this. Should have been the first thing I said, but like, go create something.
Oh
man, that doing that lately has just been. That's just been blessing me too, man. Let me just go play a song on bass, and I'm gonna make a video out of it. And I'm gonna edit the crap out of it. Right. Just do a bunch of extra stuff that's not even required.
Right. You know how I told you I've been reading a lot more, and in school they got me right now reading this book. Shout out to Dr. Nathaniel Smith, man, at Central Michigan University. He got us reading. It's my English teacher. He has us reading a book called Stolen Focus. By Johann Hari. I can't believe I know the people's name and all that shit. I'm not one of them people, dog.
You are now.
But the real talk, Stolen Focus. In a part of the book kind of hones in on flow states and how it is, imperial. It's an imperial part of you getting into the natural flow of yourself, and it's a helpful state. Anything that you get to do, creating, or where your focus is like really like a painter who gets into a zone. Like in the book, they have a lot of scientific research about entering these flow states. And for you, plugging that guitar up or your bass or doing your thing with it, that enters a flow state.
Yeah.
And then you look up, and it's been how many hours?
Mm-hmm.
You look up, and then you got a whole piece of music that you're like, oh shit.
Right.
Like. Tapping into those states help us so much, and it doesn't have to be musically. It can be anything that you do, whether it be reading, whether it be writing. It doesn't matter. Singing, basketball, like flow state in basketball, like being in the zone is a flow state.
Content creation.
Yeah, I've been content creation. Yeah, like when you notice, like, yo, I got a format and I'm sticking this shit, and I am hitting all the marks.
Yep,
it's a flow state, and it's very, 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 very fucking beneficial for us. I think. Especially black men, to find something that we can find that flow state in, just to be able to lock into something outside of the world, and it basically can close, like, because in the book, it had a statement in there basically talking about how sometimes, like, the distraction, that's why I've been so keen on technology and how it's affecting us, though. It's that book. Sometimes we just get distracted, man, and we get knocked out of our states, and we need to, like, recharge or enter a space of creation. And they say basically the world, the fucking internet becomes like a portal this wide, always pointing at you, always where the world is always. They say you need to narrow that gap and close it sometimes, and typically one of the main and best ways to do it is to enter your own flow state.
It's like you have to kind of go within a little bit. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And just completely disconnect from the world. And it's hard to, because the world is so connected now. Like, our phones keep us connected to not just the world, but the people.
Yeah.
You got people. I got a text message on my phone right now, a
The
phone
opinions.
call. You know what I mean? Like you're constantly being pulled back into this world that we live in. No matter how hard you try to separate, you're always gonna get pulled back in. Like the notifications gonna come, them emails gonna come, them text messages.
They stated that in the book, and that's why the book comes from actually a personal experience that the author basically went through by detaching from the internet. Now everybody can't do this, but he detached from the internet, went to this place called Provincetown, and it was next to the ocean, and he went with no technology. And what he found out was in the beginning, like if you want to know how distracted you are, people, like sit down and try to meditate. Once you close your eyes, it's typically an inner peace in the world that you're supposed to be able to have and experience when you're there. But in this world we live in, try that shit for 5 minutes. As soon as you sit your ass still, this is people from that's in the regular world. I'm still trying, so this is not me talking from a perch. But sit your ass down, get in a silent room, and try to meditate. What you're going to notice, typically, if you're not a normal or regular, what you're going to notice is you will not be able to stop your mind from trying to find a reason to open your eyes first. You will notice that even when your eyes are closed, your eyes is like wandering. You'll also notice that all the things that you should be doing or should do right now, it's all going to flood in. That's how you know that you're jumbled.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's why I like, meditation, because you're supposed to focus on the breathing. The focus on the breathing is the most natural state of the body. So if you can focus on your breathing alone, all those thoughts will start dissipating, and then you can tap into that zone, But I know it seems hard as hell because when we are anxiety ridden, some of the shit that we put in our bodies just contribute to that. I just had a fucking coffee. I just had a donut. This is sugar. That's caffeine. Like all that stuff. It can contribute, and you may not be able to tap in. But once you can like find a way to find your own relief, I mean, do it after you hoop. Do it after you work out. Do it after you run. It's a different kind of, your body been dropping them chemicals and those things that will push you into a restful state, So I just want, like I said, for this entire part, I just wanted to make sure that we're giving options and giving tools to people who may be feeling like they don't have any relief, like they don't have a way out from the stress in their life. It definitely is ways you just have to, man, they all sound cliche. They all sound cliche, but anything that's focused internally through consistency, you will see results. You know what I'm saying?
And then to the point of, meditation, like I definitely like meditation and I'll meditate at times or what have you. But the breathing part, the deep breathing, like that's one of the best ways to fall asleep. Man, it's like one of the best ways to fall asleep because one of the things that I do, and I actually learned that it's actually a technique. I just don't remember what it's called, but I think they do it in the military. Mm-hmm. It's like where you take 7 or 8 really, really deep breaths, as deep as you can do it. And I kind of just naturally started to do it because I had heard about it. And what I realized is that after like 7 or 8 deep breaths, maybe 9, maybe 10, you'll yawn.
Yeah.
And when you think about yawning, all it is a really exaggerated deep breath. It's super exaggerated.
Naturally.
You're loud, but it's the most natural indication your body is ready to rest. You know what I'm saying? So one of the great ways to fall asleep, I just did it the other day. But it also helps, like, if you stay away from your phone for like an hour prior to, you know what I'm saying? Like, and just, it's a whole process, but.
It is. Also reading before you go to sleep helps. In the book, it taught me that some people, like we was talking about sleep earlier, in the book, as a big advocate on getting full rest and so you can wake up rested. I didn't know that when you go into your deep sleep, there's a spinal fluid that travels down. It gets released from your brain down your spine.
Wow.
It's a certain thing. Oh man, I'll put it in the comments or something, the name of it though. But it's a certain fluid that happens when you reach a certain point of real rest and sleep. Probably the deep sleep era.
I need to read that book.
Fam, I'm telling you, it's blowing my mind. Like I'm not, like I said, maybe because I'm not studious and shit, and I actually like a book that I gotta read. But like like I said, when scientific stuff happens and it shows me the reasons or what's going on, I can't forget it no more.
Mm-hmm.
So like to know that that fluid gets released and it travels down your spine to repair and create a more efficient processing for you. For when you wake, for when you get, you know what I mean? Like, when I found it out, I was like, well, damn, our bodies is really like a damn real fucking mechanism, not just some shit that we experience in this world. And like, no, you could really make it optimal. You can really perform at the optimal capacity of yourself if you are aware of the processes that could contribute to that. You know what I mean? And man, stolen focus, y'all. It's been read by millions and millions of well, not millions and millions. It's been read by lots of people, and most of them are millionaires who found out that, you know what I'm saying, detachment from distractions, basically, and rest and what it does for you. It's been, like, you know, recommended by a lot of people. Oprah read the book, and she spoke highly about the book. It was a whole bunch of other celebrities, but when I heard Oprah, I'm like, yeah, because Oprah be on that shit. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, Oprah, she's on her own heaven, her own planet, so to speak.
I bet Oprah nasty. But anyway, I had to go there. But no, she's dope. She's dope. But
it's also like, man, the body really is designed to take care of itself.
It is.
It's us that don't do a good job of taking care of it. But it's designed to take care of itself.
And it's designed to live longer too. But I ain't gonna go there. That's my tinfoil hat right there. You know what I'm saying? It's a reason why they was talking about he was 174 years. Yeah, it's a reason. But I ain't gonna go into that, man. But I got about like 2 minutes left, bro. I gotta make a move and shit like that.
You good.
So we want to thank y'all for tuning in. You got anything else? Any quick topics you want to pop on?
No, I think we covered everything.
Yeah, I think we got enough content for you to bypass this as you're sitting at your desk, Tyler, watching this. You can cut all this shit out because you're the master editor and blah, blah, blah. But yeah, man.
What time we start? 10 o'clock?
Yep, we got a good hour. A good hour, just like that. I want to do at least 45 minutes. So for us to hit that hour is perfect. So, yo, off top, we out.
Peace, y'all.
Understand it's all planning as a man, I can't give in. Nevertheless, I'm going on and on. I've been thinking, yes, I understand it's all planning as a man, I can't give in. Nevertheless, I'm going on and on. I've been thinking maybe I deserve it. Maybe I do. I deserve it. Maybe I do.